Dr. Surbi, how does Ayurveda define gut health in connection to womb health? Because that's the topic. Because the menstrual irregularities relate to dosha imbalances. We were talking about dosha
Yes,
imbalances of it, which is abhyanga, which
yes,
is oiling the body. How important it
yes.
is in this journey. Perspective is like panchakarma. What's your viewpoint on that as a preconception preparation?
So Ayurveda has mentioned Garbhodhan Vidhi as a preconception protocol. आजकल
Yes.
बहुत लोग गर्भ संस्कार के बारे में जानते
Hmm.
हैं, which is
Hmm.
post conception, but they don't know about the Garbhodhan Vidhi, which is
Hmm.
before conception.
Woman's fertility depends solely on her reproductive organs. Is it a truth or a myth? How do emotions and trauma suppressed grief impact fertility? So daily oil massage abhyanga can enhance fertility and balance hormones, which I feel is the truth.
True. Hello,
Hello, Dr. Surbi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Anupam?
Very well. Let me introduce you to the people around who have joined. So we'd like to introduce Dr. Surbi, who is a highly respected and knowledgeable Ayurvedic practitioner who brings a deep rooted understanding of the traditional healing combined with modern healthcare. She is a Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and she's an MBA Healthcare also. Currently joining us from Zambia, but
Yeah.
originally from India. So
Thank you, Anupam.
Surbi will be more than happy if you can just start off with introduction for Ayurveda, which people are so much curious to know nowadays, which is such a ancient wisdom and helpful with so many of our chronic conditions. Over to you.
Right. Yes. So, firstly, I would like to define what a healthy person is as per Ayurveda. Okay, as we know that Ayurveda is ancient healing, and most of us believe that something that is natural or herbal is Ayurveda,
Right.
right? But Ayurveda is more than that. Our today's life is all about Ayurveda, wellness, and fertility. So, before we start and digging into fertility as a topic, I would like to explain what health means as per Ayurveda,
Right.
right? As we know that there are three doshas in our body, right? Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So,
Right.
all these three doshas, when they are in a balanced state, we call it to be healthy, right? So, Vayu, Pittam, Kapha, Sheti, Trayo dosha samasataha, Vikruta Deham Ghanti, Te Vartayanti Cha. That is the balance of these doshas is health. And when these doshas are imbalanced, it leads to different issues, right? Also, there is one shlok which I would like to quote, which is Samadosha, Samagnischa, Samadhatu Malakriyaha, Prasanna Atmendriya Manaha, Swasthya iti Abhidyate. Right? So,
Yes.
Samadoshaha means all the doshas in a balanced state. Sama Agni. Agni is your digestive fire.
Right.
Since we are going to talk about gut health today, right?
Right.
So your
Right.
digestive fire it plays a very important role in your health and well-being.
Right.
Samadhatu Malakriyaha. Dhatu are your tissues, right? And is again excretion, the process of excretion, throwing out waste from body. So it should be in
Right.
a proper manner.
Yes.
Prasanna Atma, Indriya, and Man. That is a charming, a cheerful Atma. That is when you feel happy inside and out, right? Atma and Man. So your mental state is equally important. Indriya are your senses. So when all your senses are in harmony, working well, it means you are in good health. Our life is going to be again
So
interrelated.
true.
Like all of this is very interrelated. Your doshas, your indriya, your man and atma, and we are going to talk more about it in this
Yes.
live today.
So today when we are talking about gut health and your digestive health, this is
Yes,
all our ancient wisdom what we are talking about here, which
right,
is coming
right.
from so many years. And
Yes,
we are lucky to be born in India with this ancient wisdom. Spices in our
truly,
kitchen,
truly.
spices, we put in our food with ghee and so many other things. We are really
Right.
lucky. So let's begin the questions what we've got. Dr. Surbi, how does Ayurveda define gut health in connection to womb health? Because that's the topic for today. We're talking about fertility and Ayurveda.
Right. So when talking about gut health, as I started with it, that your Agni or your digestive fire is the very important factor, right? So the ahar that you take or the food that we take, yes, is converted into ahar ras.
Right.
This ahar ras is then circulated or transported to the sapta dhatus in your body. One amongst which is rasa and rakta dhatu.
Right.
Yes, which nourishes the artav. Artav is nothing but your menstrual blood, or again, it is considered as one of the tissues in Ayurveda.
Right.
Artav dhatu.
Right.
Right. So this rasa and rakta nourishes the artav dhatu.
Right.
So when the nourishment is not proper, right, this leads to blockages, right? So your artavaha strotas, these are strotas, the channels that carry the nutrient value gets blocked. There is ama, which is toxins. So जब ये toxins build up होने लगते हैं, it's going to disturb your reproductive system. And that is why your Agni is related to your well-being or your reproductive system. It just starts with the basic. Your Agni.
Right. This is
how your gut health is related.
Is how I think gut health is connected to all organs, but this is the topic for today, so we talk about more about fertility and womb.
Right.
So the next question we've got is, Dr. Surbi, how do you assess the overall health of women's menstrual cycle in Ayurveda? What is the assessment we take, and what is the parameters we go about with?
Right. So I would like to say it the other way. Ayurveda sees menstrual cycle as a diagnostic tool. Right. So the nature or observing your menstrual cycle would help you understand your womb health and your overall well-being, your dosha state in the body.
Yes.
Right. But if you ask me, how do we assess? So regularity. It should be regular. It occurs every month. Right. Duration, same as per modern science, it is 3 to 5 days. Then we talk about color. How the color should be. It should be fresh red. Right?
Yes.
Then amount. How much should be the amount? So it is mentioned as 4 prasuta. 4 prasuta is around 80 ml, which is around 3 to 5 pads per day, which is healthy flow. Right? And then there should be absence of pain or any discomfort.
Right.
They should be painless.
Right.
And you should not have any PMS as such. That is how you have healthy menstrual cycle. And these are the parameters, or these are the questions we usually ask when we want to know more about the menstrual cycle or menstrual health of a person.
Right. Because generally, when we're talking about PMS, I think every second child or every second girl would have this kind of an issue, this premenstrual syndrome, and especially pain on the second or third day, severe pain. We're not talking about normal pain, we're talking about severe pain, where medications are prescribed or painkillers are prescribed, which is not exactly normal.
Yeah, and it is considered, sadly, it's considered normal these days.
Yes.
Right? And again, all of these imbalances, when you talk about pain, it is associated with vata. So when there is vata imbalance, you have painful menstruation, right?
Yeah.
And when your pitta is imbalanced, you might have heavy flow.
Yeah.
Yes, or there might be inflammation. When there is kapha imbalance, you might feel slightly very heavy, sluggish, lethargic throughout your cycle. Yes. So again, all of these irregularities or the imbalances with respect to your menstrual cycle are linked to dosha.
Yeah. So we will get on to these doshas things, that how do we balance it. Let's finish up the questions which we received, and then we get on to how do we balance those. So what is the menstrual irregularities relate to dosha imbalances? We were talking about dosha imbalances. So you've answered a little bit on that. If you could just elaborate.
Right. So when there is vata imbalance, as I was talking about vata imbalance, so when you have vata imbalance, you might have constipation. severe constipation before your periods.
Hmm.
Your periods might be irregular, so you might get your periods early or delay, right? Then there might be a lot of pain associated with your cycle.
Yeah.
Yes. Then you might have bloating, anxiety. A lot of women face anxiety as a premenstrual syndrome, right? So there might be lower back pain, which we again consider as normal. Yes. So again, all of this vata imbalance is because of overexertion, fasting, late night. Yes, these issues lead to vata imbalance. Then, when talking about pitta imbalance, some people feel extreme heat around their menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
Yes. So, or there are intense emotions. You feel angry, you feel very cranky,
Irritable.
and we
Yeah.
consider this to be very normal,
Normal.
right? Yeah. And some of them might have acid reflux.
Yeah.
Yes. Or mid-cycle bleeding. So you might
Yes.
see spotting before your periods or after your periods, which is again related to pitta imbalance.
Right.
Yes. So
Right.
this is because of excess heat in the body, or there is a lot of oily food that you eat, a lot of spices that you're consuming.
Yeah.
So it is because of that.
Yeah.
And when talking about kapha imbalanced,
Right.
so kapha is sluggish, very stagnant, when you're just sitting on one place, no activity, no movement.
Right.
So when you have kapha imbalance, you might have delayed periods.
Right.
Yes. Or at times you see those thick clots, it is because of kapha imbalanced. Then you might have vaginal discharge, something that we call as PID, pelvic inflammatory disease. So it has white discharge. Yes. You see white, curdy, thick discharge which has smell, and it might be irritating at times. You might have
Right.
itching associated with you, right? And there might be dullness. You feel little depressed around your cycle. So all of this is because of kapha imbalanced. The causes, it is because of sedentary lifestyle.
Yes.
And we consider having Coke very normal. आजकल cold drinks पीना बहुत normal हो
Normal
गया
है.
है.
Yeah.
मतलब people have cold drink with every meal. Yeah, they want to
Yes.
have Coke with pizza, burger. So
And
again, this is
And
going
they
to
would
lead
they
to
would
kapha
exercise.
imbalance.
They would exercise whatever bad they've eaten. They would exercise it out. That's the
Yes.
answer we get. We'll exercise it out. We'll just do some little extra exercise for this.
But it
But it
doesn't work that
it
way.
doesn't work like that. That's the main course of it. So, what are the
Right.
common Ayurvedic signs for an imbalanced womb on a reproductive system, which I think we've covered? How does Ayurveda
Right.
view conditions like PCOS or fibroids in the context of fertility? Very big question, because today we are in a society where every now and then we see patients with PCOS.
Right. Right. So, talking about imbalanced or signs of reproductive scrotus blockage. Yes. So you said that what are the signs of imbalanced womb? So, firstly, as you said, that eating junk and exercising it out
Yeah.
is what people say.
Yeah.
So most of the times I have patients जिनके सारे reports normal होते हैं. वो तो बोलते हैं डॉक्टर ओवुलेशन भी हो रहा है, राइट? सारे रिपोर्ट्स भी नॉर्मल है, फिर भी वो कंसीव नहीं कर पाते. Yes, this is what we call as unexplained infertility.
Unexplained.
And all of this is related to your lifestyle, right? So poor egg quality, or you say uterine जो lining है endometrium का वो अच्छे से नहीं बनता है. This is all a sign of imbalanced womb. And coming back to fibroids and PCOS, again, PCOS, PCOD, fibroid, everything is related to imbalanced dosha. So this
Right.
is related to imbalanced kapha
Right.
and vata dosha.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So-
right.
This is nothing but manifestation of doshas. So imbalance of doshas leads to accumulation of toxins. Toxins is ama. We talked about scrotus
Yes, we
blockage,
talked
right?
about that.
Your
So basically, it's a lot to do with nutrition, food, and then of course, if medicine is required, medicine is of no harm if your food is right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I tell my patients fibroids are mostly because of anovulatory
Yeah.
cycles. And again, anovulatory cycles are because of dosha imbalance. All of this is very interrelated.
Right. So, in your experience, how important is ovulation tracking in natural fertility journey?
Ovulation tracking is very important. So मुझे patients बोलते हैं कि नहीं हम 10 to 20 days में contact रख लेते हैं.
Mm.
But it doesn't work like that. You need to understand, right? And even if you're not going for ovulation test or ovulation tracking, you need to understand certain signs that your body shows.
Yeah.
Yes. So you might see some cervical mucus that is there. Yes.
Yeah.
Your body temperature, basal temperature, it is slightly higher during your
Yeah.
ovulation. Yes. And the urge to be in contact is also higher during your ovulation. So there are certain signs that your body shows.
Yeah.
So just be in sync with your body and it becomes easier.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how effective is one thing which people I think are not very well aware of it, which is abhyanga, which
Yes.
is oiling the body. How important it
Yes.
is in this journey?
I consider Abhyanga very important because it is more than a massage. It
So,
is
can you
a
just explain the
sacred
people who've joined us what
self-care ritual.
exactly is abhyanga? Because abhyanga is a very simple oil massage, but it has to be a little explained to them in a more simpler language.
Right. So Abhyanga is basically
Hmm.
self-oiling, self-massage, right? So it is a part of Dinacharya mentioned
Yeah.
in Ashtanga Hridaya.
Yeah.
So basically, you can choose oil as per your body condition. So either you can consult a practitioner, Ayurveda practitioner, or a healthcare wellness expert like you who would help them know which oil suits them well. Like we have Bala, Ashwagandha, Shatavari Tel, right? Which
Sesame,
helps in
coconut.
toning the
Yeah. Yeah.
reproductive, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
tissues.
Yeah.
So all of this help in balancing your hormones, right? So you just apply oil and it is not meant to be rubbed.
Yeah.
Just gently
Apply
massage
it.
the oil on your skin. Yes, apply it, let it absorb for
Yeah.
15-20 minutes. And then you have a warm bath.
Bomba.
Yes, this
And
will help balance your Vata dosha. Since I told you all of the imbalances are linked to Apan Vayu. So Apan Vayu regulates the downward flow of the menstrual cycle, right? So Vata is balanced with help of Abhyanga.
if I'm not wrong, Vata is majorly to do with dryness in the body.
Yes, it
A
is
lot to do.
related, linked to dryness in the body.
Yes.
It is
Yes. Yes.
linked to dryness, to the movements. Yes. So Abhyanga helps get rid of the dryness and it also nourishes your tissues and it helps regulate the downward flow of the menstrual blood.
Right. So, how effective is like Panchakarma? What's your viewpoint on that as a preconception preparation? Many people
So,
would not know what Panchakarma is, but if you could
yes.
just, give
So,
a brief on
if I
that.
have to say in basic words, I would say Panchakarma is basically a detox therapy, right? And as we know, so if we want to plant a tree, अगर एक पौधा लगाना है, उसके लिए
Right.
सबसे जरूरी अगर कोई चीज होती है, वो उसका बीज होता है. Yes, because we know yatha bijam tatha phalam. As the seed
Yeah.
is, so the fruit is going to be. So in
Hmm.
order to have a good quality seed,
Hmm.
seed
Hmm.
here we are relating it to your egg or your sperm quality,
Yeah.
right? When we talk about fertility.
Yeah.
So Panchakarma, it helps in purifying. ये शुद्धि का एक तरीका है जो बॉडी को डिटॉक्स करता है. It helps you get rid of the toxins,
Hmm.
the accumulated ama in your body, right?
Hmm.
So again, this Panchakarma has to be done with respect to Ritu. It is
Hmm.
seasonal, right? So if it is a rainy season, your Vata is more imbalanced.
Hmm.
So we ask patients to do Basti during that time.
Hmm.
So during October, November, your Pitta is imbalanced. October heat जो होता है.
Hmm.
During that time, for Pitta, we recommend them Virecham.
Very true.
Right.
Hmm.
And similarly, after the winter, during Sankranti, right, January around, your kapha is imbalanced. So we ask them to do Vaman. And apart from that, there is Snehan, Swedan, which is again oil massage and steam,
Hmm.
which helps unblock the channels,
Unblock the
reproductive
channels.
channels.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So
Right.
this is a very important ritual, or you can say a procedure that you can follow or you can undergo if you are planning for conception.
You're
Also,
right.
Ayurveda has mentioned Garbhadan Vidhi as a pre-conception protocol.
Method.
आजकल
Yes.
बहुत लोग गर्भ संस्कार के बारे में जानते
Hmm.
हैं, which is
Hmm.
post-conception, but they don't know about the Garbhadan Vidhi, which is
Hmm.
before conception.
How do emotions and trauma suppress grief impact fertility? Does it really? Does it the mind and gut connection?
Yes, there is mind and gut connection. See, when you are stressed or you are traumatized, your vata is
Yeah.
imbalanced.
Yes.
Grief, sadness, it is again related to your vata.
Yeah.
So it is very important that you take care of your mental health. And again, if there is some grief, trauma, talk to
Talk to
someone.
someone. Yeah.
Yes, you can always seek help. And often these things are ignored or not given that much importance. Also, when you talk about grief and trauma, it is not just related to the external factors.
Yeah.
कभी कभी miscarriage होता है, वो भी एक तरह का trauma होता है,
Hmm.
right? It is a emotional and physical loss to the body and the person. So
Yeah.
it is very important that they seek help during this phase.
This is so true because many would say it's normal or it's okay to have go through a situation like this, but it's absolutely okay to also take help. That's why we say it's absolutely okay not to be okay at times.
Yes.
Yeah. So, are there any holistic tools do you recommend for women to emotionally connect with their womb? Which you've already mentioned that there could be many ways, to connect with
Yes.
their emotions and the womb, because there's a big connect of emotion and womb. This is very simple.
Yes. So again, practices like self-care, yoga, meditation, breathing exercises. These are very helpful when you want to, connect to yourself or connect to your wounds. Affirmations, positive affirmations. These help a lot.
Not just gymming and just
Not just
picking up weights.
gymming,
Yeah,
not just
which
gymming.
is also important, but this is also equally important, I think. And what affirmations and mind shift shifts do you suggest for someone feeling disheartened in their fertility journey? I'm sure you've met patients who've tried multiple things, but they've, not succeeded. So, what is your recommendation for them when they come to you, for a treatment?
So I have a very simple फंडा. जब भी लोग मुझे पूछते हैं कब होगा, मैं एक ही बोलती हूँ. I just say one thing. जब आप इसके बारे में सोचना बंद करोगे, ये तब होगा, right?
Right,
When you start focusing on yourself, when you start having a good, healthy lifestyle,
right,
you take good care of your body, mind,
right,
and soul,
right.
ये तब होगा.
Mutabak.
So
Absolutely
this
right.
is a
Because,
positive.
we are positively thinking, we are positively affirming, but if we are emotionally stressed, it will never happen that way.
Yes. So it's
Absolutely.
very important that you yourself treat your body well and take good care of it.
Right,
That's enough.
right. What is one powerful message you would offer to women trying to conceive through holistic ways, Ayurveda?
See, again, as we spoke about all these things, Ayurveda has a lot to tell about body, mind, and soul
Hmm.
rather than just physical well-being.
Hmm.
Yes. So, one powerful message that I would like to tell women is start taking good care of yourself. Focus on self-care. Yes, be happy. And just tell yourself whenever your body is ready for conception, Just tell yourself that yes, I will do it and I have the power to create, nurture, and carry a baby. Just tell
Mm.
yourself this helps a lot.
Mm.
I have seen many women benefited with this
Right.
when they start taking care of themselves. So again, I would like to focus and you know talk more about self-care.
So we have something like a rapid fire. We have a few questions which are truth and myths. Let's focus on this. Let's
Yeah.
talk about this. A woman's fertility depends solely on her reproductive organs. Is it a truth or a myth?
No, this is a myth because again, we've been talking about digestion, emotional well-being, and your lifestyle. So it depends on all of it.
Yes. Yes, yes. So Ayurveda considers the womb a sacred space that stores emotional memory.
This is it.
This is true.
Emotional experiences, they hamper and impact your reproductive health and well-being.
Yeah. Only women with regular menstrual cycles are fertile.
Not at all. Ovulation is the key factor.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, that's true.
you might have irregular cycles and you might be ovulating. This is a myth.
You can't conceive naturally if you have a diagnosis like PCOS.
I I have more than 60% patients with infertility who have PCOS and they
Mm.
have conceived naturally with PCOS.
Yes.
Again, it's a lifestyle shift. When you follow certain lifestyle modifications and take care of your diet, your well-being, you can conceive naturally with Ayurveda and holistic well-being or holistic approach towards your
So
health.
true. So nutrition is the key factor. Very big
It is
factor
the
because
key.
eventually
It is the key
nowadays,
factor.
when you go to doctors, they would give you certain medications and eventually they would say, okay, now you follow a certain, lifestyle and nutritional, you start having some nutritional food. This will also be effective with the medication because the medication alone will not help you. Most of the
Right.
doctors have
But
started telling this.
there's always a difference between just having
Yeah.
a diet chart and having a custom tailor-made diet chart. As I
Yeah.
told you, Ayurveda focuses on your
Yeah.
doshas. So every person is different, every person has a different prakriti. So it's important that you understand your body and have a diet and lifestyle suitable to your body.
Right. So right. So daily oil massage abhanga can enhance fertility and balance hormones, which I feel is the truth.
A truth. Yes.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Fertility should only be addressed once a woman is ready to conceive.
No, pre-conception care, or as we spoke about,
Mm.
Bija Shuddhi, Panchakarma. So that is equally important.
Mm.
That you start now. Even if
Mm.
you're not planning for conception, you start now. Take good care of your health, and then later you would not have to worry about
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ayurveda encourages syncing daily routines with the menstrual cycle. Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it
It does. This is the truth.
So very big thing nowadays fasting. Skipping meals is harmless for fertility as long as you're eating.
No. Fasting, it aggravates your vata
Vata.
and pitta.
Yes.
Yes. So again, if you're fasting, it should be done in a way which does not harm your body. And just randomly skipping meals or having irregular meals is harmful.
So ghee helps to nourish the reproductive system and builds ojas.
Yes. So ghee, especially cow ghee, it is one of the rasayan. It
Rasayan.
rejuvenates your body. So
Yes.
it's important
Yes.
that you consume at least 2 tablespoons of ghee every
Yeah,
day.
but good quality, absolutely.
Good
Or homemade.
quality ghee.
Yeah.
Homemade ghee.
Yeah. A woman's digestion has no real connection to fertility. I know the answer to this, but I'm sure the audiences want to listen to this from you.
No, this is a myth, and we've been talking about Agni and digestion since the beginning of this session.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
audience is well aware, I believe, by
I'm
now.
sure.
They should be answering
Yes.
this question.
Suppressed emotions can affect the womb energetically.
Yes, this is truth, and emotional health it's an integral part of fertility,
Yes.
and it's very important you take care of your mental health equally.
Yeah. The womb is only physical organ, not an emotional or energetic center.
No. As we know that we've been talking that Ayurveda is more about
Right.
mind, body, soul. So
So,
this has a spiritual connection, and womb is not just a physical organ. Because I've been telling you, I have patients जिनके
yeah.
सारे रिपोर्ट्स नॉर्मल होते हैं, एंडोमेट्रियम अच्छे से बनता है, सब अच्छा है, फिर भी कंसीव नहीं कर पाते,
Right.
राइट? फॉलिकुलर स्टडी करा लेते हैं, एग अच्छा डेवलप होता है, फिर भी कंसीव नहीं कर पाते हैं. So
Right.
if it was only a physical organ, then I don't feel ये challenges उन्हें face करने चाहिए.
Right. Right. Stress and anxiety can disrupt both gut and reproductive health in Ayurveda.
Yes,
The
because this
simple answer
leads
to
to
this.
hormone imbalance.
Yes. Yes. Natural fertility is only about physical body, not the mind and spirit.
This is a myth. Because Ayurveda emphasizes on mind, body, spirit connection,
Yes.
infertility, and your overall well-being, of
Right.
course.
Right. 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 So, Dr. Surbi, would you like to share any example of your patient who has you've dealt with certain fertility issues which you comes to your mind that you would like to share with our audiences?
Uh, yes. So, many a times I've seen patients compare their journey to others,
Hmm.
right? So, I had one patient, she had PCOD
Hmm.
and irregular cycles. Her cycles were delayed, but she conceived within 2 months.
Hmm.
Yes. So, one of her colleagues visited me saying that, oh, doctor, she conceived with PCOS within 2 months. So, even I want to conceive in 2 months. So, every body is different, right? The time that you might require to conceive would be different.
Yeah.
Yes. So, never compare your journey
With someone
to others.
else's, because yeah,
Yes.
absolutely, you have the same condition, but the journey can be completely it's never
Yes.
linear.
It, it's never the same for two people.
Yeah, it's never the
So
same.
just focus on your health and well-being. Again, there are many patients who have severe pain, endometriosis, PID. So
Hmm.
a person with endometriosis can conceive within a month. Some might even take 6 months, 9 months, or a year. Be
Yeah,
patient throughout your journey. Yes,
absolutely.
be patient, be consistent. Don't lose hope. So I've seen women lose hope after every cycle.
Hmm.
चलो मान लो आज मुझे पीरियड आ गया, ठीक है?
Hmm.
So they start feeling very bad. This affects their mental state. बहुत बुरा लगता है. There's sadness, there's grief associated with
Hmm.
this. कि इस महीने भी नहीं हुआ, right?
Hmm.
So I tell them one thing. When you're sad around this phase, always remember that when you're menstruating, they count it as day one, right?
Hmm.
It is the beginning of your next menstrual cycle.
Hmm.
So the sadness or the grief that you carry forward is going to affect the next cycle.
So true.
Yes. So as we know, every month one egg is selected,
Hmm.
right? And then it grows in size, it ruptures, and if it fertilizes,
Hmm.
you conceive,
Hmm.
right? But
Hmm.
for that egg to develop well, for that egg to form well, it is important how you are at the beginning of the cycle when that egg is
Yes.
being chosen,
Your
right?
emotions all
So,
going to the same
yes,
place.
your emotions play a very important role. So, even if you get your menses, take good care of your body, be happy, be calm throughout the process. Yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
As I've been saying कि जब आप ये चीज के बारे में सोचना बंद करोगे, let it be a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Yes, and not
Yeah.
something that you're worried about.
Yeah.
When you're going to miss your periods, you're going to know that you've conceived. But until then, have least expectations, and take utmost care of yourself.
Yeah.
This is very important to be calm, patient, and consistent throughout this journey to have a healthy baby or healthy pregnancy later. So, this
Yes.
is one thing I keep telling all my patients, and it is very important for each one of us to remember and follow this.
So, what would you like to tell our followers in terms of who've been going to IVF clinics, how Ayurveda can help them? Because they've
So,
tried
I,
multiple, of course, you're talking about Ahar, Vichar, but what else would you,
yes.
you know?
So I have had patients who have done multiple IVFs,
Hmm.
like 4 to 5 cycles, and it
Hmm.
is emotionally, physically, and
Draining.
financially exhausting for
Yes.
them. It drains them
Yes.
literally, right? So there are certain conditions in which, yes, IVF is the only option, but otherwise, for 95% of cases, I never see IVF as the only option. Yes. So I have had patients with almost tubal blockages. So tubal blockages is one condition wherein you might see IVF as the only option because the egg is retrieved and then it's fertilized outside
Hmm.
and then transferred.
Yes.
Yes. But I have had patients with tubal blockages conceiving naturally.
Naturally.
Yes.
It's a big achievement.
Because again, yes, tubal blockage, yes, hydrosalpinx is because of inflammation. When your
Hmm.
fallopian tubes are inflamed, which can be controlled with your
Control.
diet and
Yes.
lifestyle.
Yes.
Yes, so
Yes.
you can conceive naturally with tubal blockages as well.
As well.
Yes, I have patients who've conceived with endometriosis. Yes, who have adhesions
Again, a
or
difficult condition.
adenomyosis.
Yeah, difficult
Yes, it's
condition
a
where you
very
can conceive.
difficult
Yeah.
condition, and surgery is the only option recommended in such cases.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes,
That's true.
but again, when I talk about endometriosis, it is because of disturbed Apan Vayu.
Hmm.
It's retrograde menstrual flow.
Hmm.
Endometriosis is nothing but the menstrual flow, it goes in the opposite or upward
Hmm.
direction, right?
Hmm.
And if this is corrected, you can conceive naturally,
Hmm.
right?
So true.
So, so, you know, before taking such a decision, give yourself at least 6 to 9 months. Take good care of yourself, and you can conceive naturally. Yes,
Yes.
IVF is not the only option available for you to conceive.
Conceive. Yes. So first consider all the lifestyle changes, your ahar, your vichar, which you talked about, your nutrition, your thoughts really matter. And then, of course, Ayurvedic
Yes,
medications, Ayurvedic way of doing things. And if
right.
things still don't work, of course, there's another option, which is IVF.
Yes. And the success rate for IVF is not more than 6 to 8%.
Yes.
It's not more than 10% anywhere, right? So again, if it fails, you're going to go for another cycle, right?
Hmm.
Yes.
That's
Any which ways you're going to waste a year
yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
instead, try natural ways, give it a year or so, and you
Yeah.
might conceive naturally. Yes.
Absolutely.
If
Absolutely.
not, then definitely that is the way or option available. Go for it. I'm not against IVF. Yes,
Hmm.
I am against people considering IVF as the
Only
only option.
option. Yes. Yes.
Yes,
This is what we are
they are
trying to,
made to
we
believe
are
so. They
doing
are
this
made to
live.
believe so.
Yeah, we're doing this live only because we want to talk about natural and holistic ways beyond
Exactly.
any surgery or beyond heavy medications.
Right. So I would like to mention one story here. So I had one patient. She was going for an IUI cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But the heavy medications were given to her for ovulation. Yes. And these heavy medicines led to her having almost 11 dominant follicles
Yeah.
at once. Yes. So all the follicles, so PCOD is nothing but it is accumulation of tiny, tiny, tiny follicles, immature follicles. So when
Yes.
you give this heavy doses of medicines, all these follicles mature at once.
Yeah.
So now her doctor told her you have to either go for IVF or drilling, because if these follicles rupture, it's going to create a lot of problem.
Hmm.
Yes.
That's
So here I feel she could have treated the PCOD or PCOS first.
yes.
It
And
was
then
very
gone through it.
simple for her. Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes. So
now her doctor left her with only one option, that you go for IVF, which is
hmm.
very sad.
Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely, so true. See that's why we're talking about all the holistic ways here. That people shouldn't jump to all these conclusions very very fast going to IVF clinic, which is now easily available. There's so much of awareness, at least in the urban parts of the country, that people are wanting
Right.
to jump to any surgery or any heavy
Yes,
medication
but
at one
I
go.
believe, women like you are creating awareness about holistic ways in
Thank you.
Ayurveda. And I'm so grateful, Anupam, and I
Thank
believe
you.
that awareness is the beginning of change.
Yes.
And of course, with efforts like these that you're taking, you're certainly going to create more and more awareness about Ayurveda and holistic ways to
Yes.
conceive naturally.
Yes.
Uh, so I feel, sessions like this are going to help create a lot of awareness around this topic.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Absolutely.
really thankful to you, Anupam, for having
Thank
this and
you.
having
Thank
me
you.
today.
Likewise. Likewise. I'm sure the audiences are connecting to and they're enjoying the session for Ayurveda because it gives us so much insight, so much knowledge, our old wisdom, what we have. And we just looking at other parts of the world. We just don't look at what we have in our
Right,
country. Yes.
right. Very true.
So it was a nice session with you, Dr. Surbi. Thank you so much.
I'm glad to be
Yeah.
here and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day
Thank you.
to our audience and to you.
Thank you. Thank you.